Thanks for tuning in. I am meteorologist Quincy Vega with a special update on what I'm calling the Tale of Two Storms, and I'm reporting here from the Naugatuck Weather Center. You'll have to excuse the acoustics. We have a little bit of an echo, so the sound is not ideal. But what am I talking about, the Tale of Two Storms? Well, if we backtrack a few days, for quite some time, the computer models were showing a potential storm at or before Thanksgiving. The models trended out to sea, and now we're seeing the GFS try to play games here with the East Coast. It's still showing a storm being cautiously close to the New England shoreline by Wednesday of this upcoming week. Now, the European model has been very consistent, at least over the past few days, with that storm being further out to sea. But what I want to look at here is the European model for next weekend. Now, again, this is many days out. I'm going to say this many times, but use extreme caution with forecasts beyond day 7 because we've seen a lot of changes. And a small change now in day 1 could mean huge changes between days 7 and 10. Now, anyway, the European model shows that first storm out to sea. By next Sunday, we see a new storm developing off the New England coastline. And by the following week, when the NAL goes negative, we see one huge ocean storm east of New England. And if the European model is correct, that's the storm we may want to track for the potential for wintry precipitation here in Connecticut. Now, if we look at the GFS solution for next week, although it shows a potential storm on Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving, it's too warm for snow. And here's my forecast. If that first storm does happen and it's closer to the coastline, it might mean a chilly rain, but it's not going to mean snow, and it's not really going to be a big deal for Connecticut. Now, the European model, again, shows the NAL beginning to go negative, and this is the new 12Z run today on Saturday, shows the NAL beginning to go negative on Friday the 23rd, where the old 0Z forecast showed the NAL going negative on the 25th. So if the NAL begins to go negative after Thanksgiving and really tanks off by next weekend, that's what could favor a big storm off the East Coast. So it's really not this first storm, it's the second storm. And really the second storm could honestly be a phase between that first storm that kind of lingers out to sea and then an approaching shortwave that comes through southern Canada by next weekend and beyond. So again, there's a lot that can change. This is an ever-changing forecast solution. And again, small changes now could mean big changes down the road. So just use caution looking at the forecast models beyond day 7. I've learned a lot. It's better to be cautious and to kind of take things with a grain of salt and not to flip-flop too much, because if you're saying big storm, no storm, then big storm again, you're going to lose credibility. And it's I think with weather forecasting, experience is a big thing, but also continuity with the forecast. So instead of making big changes, instead of living or dying by the computer models, take things with a grain of salt, slowly fine-tune your forecast. And I think my fine-tuned forecast is this first storm, although it could trend closer to the coast, I do not see it being a big deal whatsoever. But if you do want to look ahead, if you want to look at the next potential storm, I think we're looking at possibly next weekend. So hopefully you've gained some insight from this. And again, I can't say it enough, take the models especially far out with a grain of salt. So hopefully I haven't said that too much. But thanks for tuning in. I will give more updates throughout the weekend into next week. And have a great day, everyone.